Hey everyone, welcome back to the show that still does not have a name. I'm Molly Reynolds, and today we have a jam-packed episode for you. We're diving into all the fun from spring break, whether you're relaxing at home or traveling far. We're also taking a look at the spring sports just beginning, recapping a successful fundraiser, and starting the hype around one of the biggest events of the year. So, sit back, relax, and let's head over to Arts. So Jack, the band and orchestra went abroad to Greece for 9 days. That must have been an exciting trip. Can you tell me a bit about it?
Well, for those who don't know, the band took a once-in-a-lifetime trip to Greece this spring break. Not only do we have footage from Greece, but on the more local side, we are also going to give a recap of our jazz concert and a preview of our orchestra's children concert.
What a spring break that was. Truly a trip to remember for those who traveled to Greece. To recap, band and orchestra kids flew all the way to Greece for their spring break trip to perform and take in the views. Another performance to mention was the jazz concert performed last week here at home. A collection of excitement and swing, jazz music is always a treat to the ears. If you're interested in the program, try reaching out to the jazz director, Mr. Jacobson, or a counselor for more information. Keeping on the theme of music, we have an exciting opportunity showing tonight at 6 p.m. in our auditorium. The annual children's concert, featuring our orchestra as well as other talented performers, is going to be presenting stories of childlike wonder and joy, great for all ages to enjoy. Let's hear from a few people within our orchestra about their experiences and excitement for the show.
It's been a lot of fun. The students are doing a great job of getting the music ready to go, and I'm really excited to see how it all comes together. I've heard great stories about just how exciting this is for the younger kids, so I think it's going to be a great concert.
I like playing the songs under the stories that they're telling for the children, and I like that we get to play for the smaller kids instead of just adults.
What I like most is that it gets everybody involved. We're playing for children are singing with us, and we're going to be with spiral singers too. So a lot of music groups are getting involved, and it's going to be a really fun night of just music and celebration.
Was it more fun to direct the music element of the show or the movement and show element of it?
Well, with this being my first year, I had some help from the elementary music teachers, Ms. Poncelet, Mrs. Aubie, and Mr. Conway. They've helped me a lot. They've helped organize a lot of those logistic things, costumes and readers and all that. So I've really been hands-on with the music, so I think I'm definitely excited to see how it all comes together. I think it's going to be just awesome just to see the excitement on the kids' faces.
What an awesome way to spend spring break, and good luck to the orchestra on their concert tonight. Following spring break, many of our spring sports are starting to bloom with both practices and comps. Scott, how are our spring sports starting to look?
Really good. Now that we're back from break, it's time to gear up for some spring sports. We have an exciting lineup this season, including track and field, soccer, baseball, and softball. Our athletes have been training hard, and we can't wait to see them shine on the track and on the field. Be sure to come out and support our teams at their upcoming games and meets. Let's make this spring season one to remember. Now, let's check in with the athletics team to see what's happening.
Welcome back, Raider fans. After our spring break, we're finally back to give you some updates on everything Raider sports. We have a lot of our spring sport events coming up and some that have already started. We are proud to announce that our archery team is headed to nationals after a successful state tournament. Congratulations to the team on such a successful season so far. Raider Nation is excited to be able to cheer you on in the national tournament taking place in Kentucky. Our ultimate frisbee team had their first game on Thursday versus STA, and it ended in a hard-fought loss, with the final score being 5-15. Highlights from the game include Jack Cohn and Caleb Schumacher leading the team in scores, and Scott Thorkelson leading the team in assists and blocks. The Raiders look to bounce back this week against Red Wing. For other sports, our track team had their time trial last week, and they had their first meet on Thursday. Our baseball team hosted a scrimmage against Lakeville South. Our softball team is also excited to start their season, as well as our tennis, lacrosse, and trap teams. Congratulations again to the archery team for such a success. Have a great rest of your week, Raiders.
Sports are really shaping up for great seasons. Diving into the academic world, we have two key stories for you today. A teacher feature covering our newest social studies teacher and recapping one of our NHS food drive success. Let's see what our friends over at Academics have put together for us today.
godfather was a teacher, so that made me interested in teaching, but then also teachers I had at the high school were really good. Why history? The History Channel was always on at my house. It was either ESPN or History Channel. They're about the only two options my dad gave us, so we watched the History Channel a lot. And then after I got to high school, doing the Decades Project was really cool, so that kind of got me into teaching history. It's kind of cliche, but the community is really, really close with like the teachers. I feel like I've gotten to know a lot of teachers really, really well this year already, but also the kids are awesome too. Very few problems with kids, and they're really respectful and they do their work, which is awesome. Well, my two basketball coaches, they're both really old now, Mr. Olson and Mr. Fikema. So they coached me when I was in high school, and I really enjoyed my time there. So I started coaching as soon as I was student teaching actually in Cannon Falls. So I coached here like 4 or 5 years ago, so that got me started on it basically. Well, this is where I was born and where I grew up and where I currently live. And I really like the town of Hastings, and I like the high school. It's a good size. So coming back home was always what I wanted to do, and it worked out after 5 years, so I'm happy to be back here, and I'm excited for my kids to go through Hastings schools someday. So yeah.
March 9th, NHS students went around town and picked up donated bags of food people left out for their annual NHS food drive.
The NHS food drive is where everyone in NHS goes around at the beginning of 1 week, goes around town and drops off brown paper bags to people's houses. And then later that week we'll go back and we pick up all the bags and have people put non-perishable food in there so we can bring it to Hastings Family Service. The main goal is to get non-perishable food and bring it to Hastings Family Service for people who need food, and then we also raise money as well for Hastings Family Service.
Thanks for the recap, academics. For our final segment, Community is covering two of the biggest times in high school, spring break and prom. Nalea, what have the students of HHS been busy with?
Well, I personally just stayed home during my spring break, but there's no shame in that, is there? Even so, I've heard a lot. Spring break was an eventful time for many, with trips to all over, events throughout, and so much more. Along with spring break, the arguably biggest event of the year is coming up. In just a month, we've got prom. Let's hear about what people did over the break and learn more about the upcoming dance.
This year's spring break was filled with lots of people going lots of different places, but we were only given 30 seconds to recap. So let's start now. First off, we can't forget about the people who stayed right at home in Hastings. They definitely got more rested than the rest of us. While we were talking about rest, the Greece kids definitely lost a lot from jet lag, but they still saw things older than Lutz. On the other hand, making all of us extremely jealous is the people who flew on over to the tropics of Florida, Hawaii, Jamaica, and Mexico. Wait, is Mexico considered tropical? I don't know. Let's hope they use sunscreen. Anyways, whether you rested up on your bed or at the beach, I hope your spring break was exquisite and full of fun. Oh my.
Prom is Saturday, April 26th at the Wexford at Emerald Greens. If you buy a ticket to eat at the Wexford, you get unlimited pasta, salad, and bread. And then there's mocktails and a dessert table, and there's late night pizzas. You can go on GoFan and buy tickets.
Well, that's all we have for you today, folks. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you this Friday. I'm Jack Sawyer. I'm Scott. I'm Molly Reynolds, and this has been another episode of the show with no name. I hated that. I want to do something else.